Welcome, everyone. I'm Christine O'Shaughnessy. I'm an instructor for Mind the Moment. I am covering today for Suzanne Rowe Palacino. I am happy to be here. Mind the Moment is where we gather together in community to practice. So today we're going to start with a question or a theme. And that question for today's practice is, what mind state would you like to cultivate in your practice and in this year ahead? So I call this a wholesome quality of mind. It's a mind that allows us to be steady, stable, even-minded, grounded. So I put some examples of words in the chat box, such as joy, freedom, stillness, patience, understanding, equanimity, compassion, empathy, peacefulness, calm, ease. These are just examples. You might have another word that comes to mind. My word for the year is stillness. So when we decide how we want to keep our mind, then we start with that as our intention every day that we arrive at our practice. So it brings energy, it brings intention to the practice, and then it's a reminder as we go through our day to continue to return to that mind state. So in moments when you may realize you're being pulled sideways and your thoughts are going into an area or domain that maybe is not wholesome, an old habitual mind state, we remember this intention and we purposely turn our mind back to that wholesome quality of mind that we are cultivating. And in conjunction with this, you can also choose to set the intention to let go of a mind state that has hindered you in the past year. Maybe that is worry, doubt, disappointment, resentment, maybe procrastination, guilt, anger, a mind state that prohibits you from really coming into alignment, being your best self. And you can also just set your intention to let that go for this year, to intentionally move away from that mind state when it arises and root back to the wholesome quality of mind that you would like to cultivate. So I hope this is resonating with some of you. And let's just check in as I share all that. Anyone already have an idea of the intention they'd like to set? If you'd like to share it in the chat box, feel free. Curiosity. I like that, Tamara. That's great. Yes. Curiosity. And that's a wonderful quality to bring to our practice, right? To be curious. Why am I thinking this way? What does that feel like? Curious, open, receptive, optimism. I like that. So how do we cultivate that in our mind? It's turning towards these qualities of heart that bring that, like joy, confidence. That's wonderful. Yes, another good one. And that might be an opposite. One of the things letting go of may be doubt, self-doubt. So sometimes we inherently choose the intention that is directly opposite of the mind state that we'd like to let go of. And empty, yes. And that's wonderful, right? See how the mind knows that. And it's sometimes subconscious, sometimes consciously. So these are all wonderful qualities of mind. All right, so I'd like to practice with this today. Oh, Suzanne, the acceptance with grace. I like that, acceptance, grace, both of those. Okay, Ian, good question. Is there a thing regarding not getting entangled with other person's negative emotions? It's being centered within yourself. So you're turning away from someone else's response. When we are entangled in someone else's emotions, what I hear is that there's an emotional response for you. And when there's an emotional response for us, it means a need's not being met for us. So that if you can look at what's leading to your getting entangled, what is the need that's not being met for you when that happens? Is it to be heard, understood, valued, respected? So if you can think from that frame of mind, a word might awaken. Maybe it's stability, peace of mind. And actually what comes to mind is empathy. It's having empathy for that other person, right? Because they're entangled in a mind state that you can see is unwholesome. So empathy for that person, compassion. Just like me, that person wants to be happy. They want to be free from stress. They want to do their best in life. These are great. Thank you for the shares. Really helpful. So I'd like to guide a practice in this. And when we are setting our intention, I'm going to invite you to keep coming back to that during the practice. And when our mind is going into a thought that's unwholesome, I'm going to invite you to be curious about what do you feel in your body. Everything that we think shows up in the body. Feeling is the secret. So when your mind is going into blame, what does that feel like in your body? When your mind's going into worry, what's happening in the body? Be aware of the physical response in the body. Our thoughts create how we feel. And then we turn back to what's my intention? What's this wholesome quality of mind that I'm cultivating? All right, so let's begin. Getting comfortable in your seat. You're welcome to stand if that feels comfortable for today. If you're seated, maybe experiment with coming away from the back of your chair so it feels different. Again, setting that intention that this is a time to practice. So it doesn't feel so familiar to the body of just sitting back in the chair. And then having a posture of involvement, lifting the spine up, feeling your feet connecting to the floor, maybe rolling your shoulders back and down your spine, and taking a few deep breaths, beginning to invite in the breath. Deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, blowing out through the mouth, like you're blowing through a straw. Taking another deep breath in, exhaling, feeling your shoulders begin to soften, inviting your jaw to relax. One more deep, full, nourishing breath in. And as you exhale, connecting with a sense of gravity, feeling the weight of your body. And begin to arrive in the body. Allowing your breath to be at ease. And connecting with the meditation object of your choice. The place where you can pay attention to most easily when your mind wanders. That may be paying attention to the breath moving in and out of the body, feeling the beginning of each in-breath and the ending of the out-breath. Or it may be connecting with the touch point, like feeling your hands connecting to a surface, feeling sensation at the tips of your fingers, feeling where your lips meet, your feet, or your eyes. Or staying connected to this sense of gravity, that natural downward pull in the body. Take a moment to connect with the meditation object of your choice. And then begin to set your intention for today's practice. That which is wholesome, beneficial, appropriate. Call to mind that word and imagine it in your mind's eye. As you put your attention on that word, notice what you feel in the body. And set your intention that this practice is for the benefit of you and for all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere have a wholesome quality of mind and heart. And if you'd like, take a moment to gently release the mind state that you'd like to let go of this year. Imagine you're letting it go into the earth. And then root back to the wholesome quality of mind that you're cultivating, that word. You can even imagine that word repeating internally on each exhale. And now connecting with the meditation object of your choice. And when your mind goes into thought, notice what that thought produces in the body. Is there ease or contraction? Tension or lightness? And then turn towards your wholesome quality of mind and begin again. Coming back to the meditation object of your choice. And we'll practice this way for a few moments in silence. Notice your thoughts, bringing your attention back to your intention. How does the body feel? And begin again. Notice where is your intention right now? What feeling is that producing in the body? Feeling is the secret. Return to your wholesome quality of mind and back to your anchor. Returning again to what you're feeling in the body and that wholesome quality of mind and heart, igniting that intention in the heart. And now beginning to gently return to feeling your feet connecting to the floor, feeling your whole body sitting here, feeling the weight of the arms and the legs, feeling the center of the chest, hollow of the throat, top of your head, feeling your ears and opening to sound, tracking the sound of the bells all the way to the end. And then gently beginning to return to this space. If your eyes were closed, inviting your eyes to gently open, letting light in, moving in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Maybe stretching your arms up overhead or gently twisting side to side. And checking in. Notice how you feel. Notice what's happening. I'm curious, how was that? Are you able to intentionally come back to that word? Or maybe as you started the practice, your mind inherently had clarity and you shifted your word. I'm going to invite you to have that word with you all day long. Write it on a Post-it, put it on your computer, dashboard of your car, refrigerator, back of your phone, bedstand, any place where it's constantly being seen so that the mind remembers. And Sheila, yes, any thoughts on breaking muscle tension patterns is challenging me for when under stress. Breaking, yes. So tension in the body, you're identifying it. Okay, this is stress. So if we look at what's underlying the stress, the emotion, it's honoring the emotion and allowing yourself to process that within your meditation. So for instance, anger can feel fiery, heart may be beating, right? Joy is light. Sadness can feel really heavy. So if you can identify what is the word that explains the emotion attached to that tension in the body. Is it control? Right? Wanting to have control or feeling like you don't have control. The emotion underlying that is fear. The mind wants to have stability, predictability, everything the same. And when there's uncertainty, ambiguity, unknown, the mind doesn't like that. It's the nature of the mind. So if you can sit with what is the emotion underlying it, that will help. And if you can't discern it, instead going into the tension and just looking at the thoughts. So your thoughts are producing a response in the body. Everything we think, we feel. And getting into the body more, yoga, stretching, doing something before you meditate, so you're starting to release some of the tension before you sit. I hope that's helpful. And then Jennifer, it was helpful when you said that when you have an emotional reaction to something, it's because a need is not being met for you. Yes, this is Oren Sofer's work. He's one of my teachers. He wrote the book, Say What You Mean. That has a whole needs list that you can circle. What needs aren't being met for you in your job, in your personal life, that you keep landing in this emotional response. So when everything we do in life, we do to meet a need. When our needs are met, we feel happy and pleasant. When our needs are unmet, we don't feel good. And sometimes our needs can't be met in that moment, and then we mourn the loss of that need. Highly recommend that book. And yes, this is great, Ian. I concentrated on the good feeling I imagine the focus intention would produce. Wonderful. And yes, the book, I'll put it in the tab. It's in the chat. It's Say What You Mean by Oren J. Sofer. He is a meditation teacher and a nonviolent communication teacher. So practice, practice, practice. Keep your word with you, close to your heart. And anytime your mind goes into negativity or old thought patterns, just say the word cancel or next. My teacher, someone I work with, has Post-its all over home with the word next. And she said her kids' friends will walk in and be like, why is next written everywhere? And she's taught them all, because when I'm doing things and my thoughts are going into a place of rumination, lack, fear, habitual programming, I go next, meaning next thought, shift to the good, shift to what am I trying to create. And on that note, I myself and my daughter always pick a card in the morning of what we're going to root to, kind of what's our intention. So today, this is our card. I vibrate at a high frequency. I am energized and inspired. Who doesn't want a mind that's energized and inspired, right? So I hope this was helpful for everyone today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Suzanne will be back next week. Thank you for allowing me to teach today. I always love doing this session. All right. Have a wonderful day. Any online content you have. My website, I'll put it in here. And then Oren Sofer has a website. He has blogs, free meditations. I have free meditations on mine. Harvard Pilgrim has tons of meditations that we all share. I hope that's what you mean by resources, any online. Did I get that right? Okay, Sheila, great, thanks. All right, awesome. Okay, any other questions before we log off for the day? All right, come into alignment with your intention. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Bye.